Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alexandria, Nurse Psych NP, and I am presenting on Grafenbrenner's bioecological systems theory and its application in nurse practice. This presentation will review the theory, discuss its application to family nursing, examine research, and explain why it is useful for not only my family assessment, but my future work as a psychiatric nurse. So the bioecological systems theory was developed by Uri Grafenbrenner. The theory evolved from earlier ecological systems theory, and then it later expanded into what is now known as the bioecological model. The central assumption here is that development and health outcomes occur through reciprocal interactions between individuals and the environments in which they live. People separately from their surroundings, Grafenbrenner argued that individuals and environments continuously influence one another over time. So the pure version of Grafenbrenner's theory is represented by the process, person, context, or the PPCT model. Process refers to the interactions that shape the development, such as family communication or social relationships. Person refers to individual characteristics, things like age, temperament, health status, experiences. Context I will discuss in the next slide in greater detail, but it refers to the environmental systems surrounding the individual. Time refers to the life transitions, historical events, and experiences that may occur throughout the lifespan. And Grafenbrenner believed that these four components work together to influence development and health outcomes. Now, the ecological systems is a component underneath the context, and there are 5 interconnected systems. The microsystem consists of immediate environments such as family, school, and peer relationships. Interactions between these settings, such as communication between parents and teachers, the directly influence the individual, such as maybe parental employment status or health systems. And the macro system includes cultural values, social norms, and even public policies. And then finally, we have include like transitions. And if you want something in a little bit more detail, on page 49. So conceptual definitions. Family, with respect to the BST, is viewed as a primary microsystem that strongly influences the development and health. Health is considered a dynamic outcome that emerges through interactions among biological. The environment includes the multiple systems that surround and influence the family or the patient. These interconnected influences and developing interventions that promote resilience, well-being, and health equity of the patient. This perspective encourages symptoms and consider the broader factors affecting health outcomes. Strengths of is the ability to the social determinants of health. Factors such as housing stability, education, transportation, access to healthcare, public policy even, these are all major influences of health outcomes. So for many families, barriers within these systems can significantly affect mental health and access to care. The theory reminds nurses that health disparities often arise from environmental conditions rather than just individual choices alone. So the bioecological model is applicable in not only primary settings, but it's one of the most applicable theories that translates to psychiatric specialties. Tong and Ann in a 2026 study stressed that understanding these bioecological influences allow the nurse provider to develop more comprehensive assessments and interventions that stress both symptoms and underlying contributors to health challenges. Like, for example, a patient with treatment-resistant depression, if I were to apply the PPCT model, the process I might identify as what are their therapeutic relationships, what family interactions are like, The person themselves, do they have any genetic predisposition? Mental illness severity, what is it at? And context, structure, community structure, their access to healthcare, public policy, chronic pain and other chronic so a 2026 study by the role of school nurses in supporting children's mental health in Scotland. It's designed the Bronfenbrenner bioecological systems theory. The researchers explored perspectives from children, from parents, teachers, and school nurses. The findings showed that school nurses in children's health, but were apparently more so in reactive rather than preventative care. Integration of school nurses into school mental health. This study illustrates how BST helps nurses understand mental health interactions among children, families, schools, and communities. Because the final study I'm going to share with you does address graphic content, including genocide and sexual assault. So please, if you are not comfortable with this topic, you can click in the link in the description titled Summary and Conclusion to fast forward. In a 2022 study by Khan and Love, transgenerational trauma was examined among Rwandan genocide survivors and their children born from genocidal rape. The researchers explored whether a culturally enhanced bioecological framework could explain how trauma is transmitted across generations. The authors argued that BST provides cultural and historical influences. Their findings showed that trauma was shaped by multiple ecological factors, including family relationships, community stigma, cultural beliefs, economic hardship, and the legacy of genocide itself. The study also identified protective factors, and these include support, secure relationships, can help primary and psychiatric nurses understand complex mental health challenges and identify opportunities for intervention across multiple systems. In conclusion, bioecological systems theory provides a comprehensive framework for understanding how family, environmental, cultural, and societal factors influence health outcomes. By examining interactions across multiple systems and over time, us as nurse providers can develop more holistic assessments and interventions. I personally selected this theory because it aligns closely with my psychiatric nursing practice and it recognizes that mental health is shaped by family relationships, social determinants of health, culture, and life experiences. The individual selected for my family assessment has experienced significant adversity, including childhood loss, parental addiction, has 2 daughters who are thriving, fortunately, adolescent instability, teenage parenthood, and long-term intimate partner violence. And despite all these challenges, she has demonstrated remarkable resilience with managing multiple chronic health conditions. Her experience span multiple ecological systems, making an excellent fit for the analysis using ecological systems theory. And attached to this, I hope you enjoyed my presentation on the bioecological systems theory. Please feel free to reach out to me if you need or have any clarifying questions. Thank you.